Hey everybody, I'm the Rusty Mechanic, and today I'm super happy to take a look at this guy. It's Mastermind Creations IF-02 Stray, aka Drift, and it's their take on what the Drift character might have looked like if he was on the original arc that crash landed on Earth and started the entire Transformers G1 cartoon lore. We're going to take a look at the full robot mode, including its incredible articulation, the multitude of accessories that come in the box. We'll do a detailed step-by-step transformation, and we'll also finally take a look at that amazing alt mode, which is based on a car from the Initial D manga series, and it's of a Toyota AE86 that was exclusively sold in Japan. Speaking of exclusivity, this thing can only be purchased in Canada from ages 3 and up as an exclusive figure from them. They graciously and expeditiously fired this figure out to me so that I could do this review video for you guys. So massive shout out to ages 3 and up for thinking of me to create this video for them. Am I famous now? I'll leave a link in the description down below so you guys can go ahead and purchase this guy from them. And finally, if you stick around to the end of the video, I do have more details on that raffle that I'm having at the end of the month to support Kennedy's Village, which is a non-profit organization that helps to bridge the gap between research and care for sickle cell disease. I've got a number of figures that I'm giving away at the end of this month, depending on the number of entries that I have. So stick around at the end of the video for more details on that. And with all of that stuff out of the way, let's get into it. Start this off by taking a very quick look at the box since I already had it in the intro, but I always love MMC's box art for the character. This is a very cool, like if I had this as a poster on my wall, I would not be unhappy. This is very cool stuff. Picture the figure in the alt mode and robot mode on the top. Additional artwork on the side here, looks like it's right out of the cartoon. Cool looking head sculpt. Another shot of the same box art that's on the front that we have there on the side, and then of course with every MMC we get a nice bio card on the back with the stack card. There's the decoder bar that's inside with the accessories that you can use, just like we did with the original G1 toys, right? The boxes, they had these bio cards with the decoder bar you could use to read the stats. This is a first edition of this figure, so that means that there's a first edition incentive or another exclusive, if you will, with this figure, this alternate head sculpt with a whole bunch of alternate faces as well. If anybody can tell me in the comments what this head sculpt is from, please do. I haven't found a straight answer anywhere on the internet as to what this is from. Apparently it has something to do with something Guido Guidi did, some custom art or whatever that maybe never saw the light of day. But if anybody knows what this is from, please let me know. I cannot figure it out. Also included in the box when you buy this from ages 3 and up or ToyDojo, you are going to get an exclusive sticker set that comes in, not in this box, but in the shipping box. So keep an eye out for this if you buy it. There's a set of stickers in here that you can put onto the alt mode that will basically make it look like the Initial D, the car from the Initial D manga series, as well as make it look like the actual Toyota AE86 with all of the badging and stuff. But this logo on the side is from the Initial D manga series, the live action movie, all of the different types of media that the Initial D managed to branch out into. I'm going to suspect that the license plate sticker is also the license plate that was on the car that was in Initial D as well. Somebody else will have to inform me of that, but keep an eye out for that. And also, you'll get this exclusive pin, which has a double post on the back. For those of you that likes pins for your jackets or whatever, here's a pin of the alt mode, again with the badging from the Initial D manga line. Apparently there's only 400 of these, first come first serve between ages 3 and up, ToyDojo and I think Planet Steel Express. No, sorry, this is North American exclusive, so it's only ages 3 and up in Canada, ToyDojo in the US. If you want to get this pin, you got to get ordered in the first 400, so get on it. Well, let's pop this guy open. Standard packaging inside for MMC, like a lot of the third-party companies, it's bubble packaging. And we get a Ziploc bag that has the bio card, the instructions, the decoder bar, the alternate faces for the head sculpt that comes on the figures in here. And then there's also, right there in the corner, don't lose this, It's another accessory that we'll talk about. That we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it anyway. Oh, sorry. And then there's the exclusive head sculpt, which I mentioned that's pictured on the back of the box. But there's the head sculpt along with 4 additional alternate faces. So we'll take a look at that later. And there he is, packaged in the box with his swords. I'll just pop this open. Get it out of the way. We'll take the sword out. So we'll talk about the accessories later. And get the 2 short swords out. There. Jeez. And we'll get the figure out of the box for you. Stand him up on his feet. There we go. He's very stable. Really, really like this figure. Anyway, right out of the box, look at this thing. This thing is absolutely outstanding. Anyway, we'll get into it as I do the full review. There are a couple of interesting things that you do have to do. I haven't had to do this with a figure in a long, long time. Now, you can leave it like this. It's obviously the top of the roof, and you can leave it like that for a cleaner look. But there is also the option where you can pull this down and flip it over, and then press it back up into place. And I find that this chest plate now sort of lines up better with the rest of the details that's going on in this character. So you actually have a choice here. You can have this chest plate that covers up the windshield, or you can just leave it in the flat mode. The other part is there's 2 cubes that are inside the abdomen here that are actually folded away. And they do have some details on them that will sort of fill out this space of the figure as well. So to get at them, you want to take this chest plate, and you'll need to bring it down out of the way. That'll let you lift the windshield and pull the windshield is pegged into the neck there. So you need to pull that forward. There's also the bottom part of his abdomen here, which is actually become the seats of the car, and they are a tight fit, but you just want to get them out of the way. This lets you to pull the windshield out of the way so that you can get into the cubes here. Now as well, you can also pivot these shoulders out of the way. Pivot the shoulders out of the way, and that lets you get in here to rotate these out like that. So they just rotate out 90 degrees, and I'm going to stop fighting with it and get a spudger in here just to get it started. And there you go. So that'll get the obliques, I guess, if you will, out of the way, and then you can just peg everything back together. So that goes back up there. Windshield goes flat. Press the rear seats forward, and just so that you know, there's like this little notch that's here that's sticking out behind the roof flap. So the windshield actually goes in front of that as you're putting all that together. And then again, I like this look better, to be honest. So I'm going to go with that. And then just put your shoulders back into place. And there you go. So now if we take another look at them, spread the arms out. So now you have these this detail along with this venting that will make up, his rib cage basically, and just sort of fills the figure out even more. So I like this look a lot better. Now this robot mode is absolutely outstanding. I love every single detail that is going on in this figure from top to bottom. The head sculpt is amazing. These details throughout the figure, just the line details alone throughout every panel that's on this figure, the paint applications, the gold here in the abdomen, this red circle, the gold circles that are up here, everything, the venting in the legs, the knees, the little red accents in the wrists and the ankles, like everything about this is just so good looking. I just love the way this figure looks. So let's take a look at just sort of a side-by-side comparison of the Drift character from different media, right? He was introduced from the IDW comics originally, right? Even at a Spotlight comic, the whole Knights of Cybertron storyline and everything else, right? But this is a very again, I mean, this is not going to be accurate to anything, right? Because it's this Infinity Finite line from MMC is really like a what if stylized, whatever you want to call it. But this is basically looking at what if Drift was a Carbot? What if Drift was a G1 character? What if, Drift was on the Ark that crashed into Earth, etc., etc., etc. This is very cool, and I mean that head sculpt matches what we know from different media, particularly the IDW comics. But he did show up in other, different media and stuff like that. But very cool representation of Drift as a G1 character. Speaking of that head sculpt, let's go ahead and take a very close look at this. Very, very nice details going on this head sculpt. Vents right on either side of the face with gold accents, crown shape, head sculpt, gold accent in the middle. You got black accents on the back here, that red pinstriping that's down the side. These points, very sharp, be careful. This is a very cool looking face sculpt. Lots of nice details, nice accented chin with line details, bright blue chrome for the eyes that just pops in the lighting. Just really cool stuff. Other details, like I said, these gold circles that are here on the shoulders, these black accents, the silver venting that's all throughout the figure. It's here in the legs as well. Additional gold circles here in the kneecaps, line details in the kneecaps, line details in the shins. This is... There's a lot of paint applications on this. The white is painted, the black is painted, the gold is painted, the red is painted here. The red in the wrists and the ankles, it's molded plastic. But for the most part, like this is a fully painted figure from top to bottom. The hands are also just matte black, molded plastic. The black legs are molded plastic, but again, it looks like everything else has some paint applications. We've got die cast feet down here to add some weight and stability, painted black with silver accents. I believe there was some additional die cast somewhere further up in the figure as well. I just can't remember where right now. And we'll take a look at the back. Like they've even done some paint applications on the back here as well, right? Which you typically don't find in most masterpiece scale figures. They don't, this normally would just all be black back here. Same thing with the back of the legs. But again, MMC has done the work of making this an absolutely outstanding figure. Okay, let's go over the articulation, and there is a ton of articulation on this. MMC has done a fantastic job in fitting in articulation all over this figure. We're going to start with the ball joint at the head, gives us a 360-degree swivel, which also gives us a head tilt. Shoulders can go up 90 degrees. Butterfly lets us pivot out and gives us a nice reach straight across the chest. We got a double elbow bend, bicep swivel, ball joint at the wrist lets us bend 90 degrees, also gives us 360-degree rotation. Thumb is on a ball joint with a primary and secondary knuckle. Individually articulated fingers with a primary, secondary, and base. Fingers that can be splayed out. Ab crunch. 360-degree waist rotation. Doors can pivot and rotate. Thigh swivel. Leg goes all the way forward, all the way back, all the way out. Knee articulation along with an extension. 90-degree knee bend, 45-degree ankle tilt, and a toe tilt. That is everything. That's a nice amount of articulation for a figure like this. He does come with a buttload of accessories, a truckload of accessories, if you will. We'll start with the sword here. Some very nice painted details. This thing is fully painted. The silver, the black, the gold, the red. This is all painted from top to bottom. Some nice details in the hilt. The line details there for the grip. Some nice line details there in the gold as well as up here in the black. Really, really cool sword accessory altogether. It does have this hook that's on the back of the handle. So instead of a traditional tab, MMC has decided to go with this hook, which just fits over the edge of the hand. Oops, wrong side. I'll show you that in a sec. You can put it in either hand, but since it is configured this way, it does just fit over top of the hand, and you don't even need to close the fingers around the sword. It does stay into place very nicely, but of course then you just maneuver the fingers around the handle and the thumb as well. You can put this in either hand because you can separate the hilt from the sword itself, flip it over, plug it back in, and now you can put it on the other hand. Just like that. Very cool stuff. So you can actually store the katana in the back of the figure as well. Now you'll notice that there's this sort of slot that's sitting here, but this is actually for the weapon storage in the car mode. You'll notice that on the back there's this sort of sliding pin with a latch here. It's actually spring loaded, so if you pull down on this, it actually releases this so that it flips up. And now if we look down from the top, there's a slot that's there as well. Now these two 90-degree parts that are here, which is for the weapon storage in the alt mode, you can actually rotate these out because they're on these pins. And then you can drop the sword in, and you want to drop it in so that the hook that fits on the handle, or on the hand, sorry, is pointing towards the back. That way it doesn't bump into there. But you'll notice that it's it just flops around in there. But with these open, you can drop the sword all the way down, and then you can rotate these two up, which sort of pinches on the top of the hilt here, and it makes it a lot more stable so that it is pinned into place. He also comes with these two short sword, or wakizashi as they are called. Very similar design and details as the katana. Again, completely painted. The gold, the red, the silver, the black, all this is painted. Nice line details here. Nice line details in the hilt. Both of these just fit into the hand by placing it in the hand and then wrapping the well-articulated fingers around the handle. And again, there's enough pressure in that is not going anywhere. If you may have noticed, you can also store both of these in the doors, which are actually the scabbards for the swords as well. So the slot that's there in the door, the sword does just fit inside the door just like that. So you get this look. Very samurai-esque. The two swords can also be stored on the back of the figure. So you notice that there's a hole here just above the hilt of the sword. And both of them can actually peg into the back as well. So you'll see that there's a peg right there just next to the silver circle. So both of these can actually peg onto the back of the figure just by lining up those holes. Peg it into place. Do the same thing with the other one. We'll line up that hole. Oops. Peg it into place. And now you have weapon storage for all three swords on the back. And of course that gives a very nice profile on the front with all three swords. For his primary head sculpt, he does also come with two additional alternate faces. This one, just sort of a smiling face. And then we've also got this one, which is more of an angry, screaming, yelling face, if you will. Now, in order to get these alternate heads onto this head sculpt, they are a very, very tight fit, and it is just simply a peg that's in the head sculpt that presses into the back of the face, but I'll tell you, it's an extremely tight fit. You are going to need a spudger or something that you can use to pry the faceplate off, and you are going to have to remove the head sculpt from the ball peg that it's on. This is also a tight fit. Watch these 2 points because they will stab you, but you do want to just pop the head off, right? Again, just a ball joint, so it does just pop off. And you need to get in behind the chin right here with something, because I'll tell you, I could not get this off with just my finger. So you need to get in behind it, really in behind it, and pry it forward so that you can get that off. And then we're going to take the angry looking one. This does just slide into place, but I will tell you that the face sculpt into the head sculpt is an extremely tight fit as well. So even when you're pressing this in, it does require a lot of force to get it to go in. So you just want to make sure it's flat, obviously. But then you get that. But you will need the spudger again to get this off. And then you just pop this back on. And there we go. So in addition to the head sculpt that it comes with the first edition, so this release of this figure, it does come with this additional alternate head sculpt. Again, like I said at the beginning of the video, no idea what this is from. There is some stuff out on the internet that suggests that this was some artwork that was done by Guido Guidi, I believe, as an alternate style face/head sculpt for Drift. But this is equally just as detailed as the original head sculpt. As you can see, lots of nice coloring, painted silver accents, red pin striping as well, gold accents here at the top. More of a like a wedge. It almost has like a Robotech helmet feel to it, really. But there's some red accents up here too. Pointed crown here, and he's has a silver eye patch. With a bit of a green face instead of the silver face that the original one has. But this looks equally as good as the other one, and of course this just goes on to the figure the same way that I just showed to do the face sculpt replacement on this head. So you just pop that off the ball joint, and then this just pops right on like that. And then you have that look. In addition to the alternate head comes with 4 other alternate faces. So again, we have another angry face. We have a smiling, smirky face. We have a yelling face, which I think is kind of neat. And then finally we have kind of a stoic smiling face. Not sure what's going on here. Not sure what is different between this one and this one now that I'm looking at them. So same idea, you just want to pop this off again. And again, this is another, sorry, this one isn't, sorry, right. This one isn't as tight a fit, and it's much easier to pop off, as you just saw. Again, just a single peg in there that goes into the back of the face, and I'm liking this yelling one, so we're gonna pop that in there. Much easier to fit, not as tight of a fit with the face sculpt into the head. There we go, just like that. And then again, we're just going to pop that guy back on, and there you go. Now you have that. Does come with a set of instructions. These instructions are actually very, very well done. There was very few things that I had to guess or question. There are no steps missed. Everything is really well laid out in these instructions. No complaints there. It also talks about the dual shoulder mode, so the instructions are in there for that as well. But these instructions, very well done, again, by MMC. Of course, you can also check out the video instruction from Pake for Life, if you want to check that out. Comes with a bio card, just a soft cardboard, some nice artwork on the front, bio on the back, as well as all of his stats with both the robot and the vehicle mode. Red decoder card, which I talked about earlier. So, of course, that works with the bio card that's on the back of the box, right? Put it over top and you can see his stats more clearly. Exclusive set of stickers for the alt mode so that you can make it look like the real world Toyota AE86 or the Torino as it is also known as, along with various other stickers, including stickers for the logo that comes out of the Initial D manga series. You'll actually get 2 sets of sticker sheets. They are exactly the same. You do have to cut out the stickers to the shape that you want. So this is all one sticker basically, and then you just need to cut out each individual one that you want to apply. But we have things like the Torino name, the license plate halves, the logo from the sushi shop, I believe it is where the main character worked in Initial D. Apex Twin Cam, which is from Toyota. Various other things, Sprinter, which is also another type of model that this car was. Anyway, I'm not good at applying stickers. I will not be doing this, but by all means, fill your boots. The exclusive pin that I talked about earlier that comes in the box as well, again, this is a North American exclusive pin, so this will be in the shipping box with your figure. There are 400 of these between ages 3 and up and ToyDojo. So ToyDojo if you're in the US, ages 3 and up if you're in Canada. This will be included with your figure as supplies last. And finally, the strangest accessory I've ever seen, and you're probably looking at this and going, what the hell is that? And I will do this just to show you how small this is. But this is supposed to be a styrofoam cup, a coffee cup, something. Anyway, it actually goes into the cup holder in his alt mode. And this apparently lends itself back to the Initial D story of the main character. Sorry, I can't remember his name, but the main character in Initial D, his father teaches him how to drift because the Initial D series is all about drifting, car racing, that sort of thing, in around Japan, the mountains of Japan. And so his father uses this cup to teach him how to be smooth and subtle with his drifting, as in, don't spill the water in the cup, son, and you'll be a better driver. This is an absolute unnecessary. I'm going to lose this thing. And now we can take a look at this absolutely beautiful, beautiful alt mode. This looks exactly like, and I'll just put this over here so we can see. This is very close, if not exactly like a Toyota AE86 in particular, right? That this looks pretty much exact to the depiction in the initial D manga, comic series, live action, etc., etc. This is definitely it. This is an amazing looking, fully painted, right? Everything on this is painted, the black, the white, the rims, right? So we've got black spoked rims here with rubber tires. There's tread detail in the tires. These are performance tires. Very, very nice looking. Lots of nice painted details up front with the bumper. This is a, again, Japanese exclusive, or a JDM, a Japanese domestic model vehicle. So the bumper is slightly different stylized than what we would get on North American vehicles. We've got painted markers. We've got painted yellow fog lights, a place for the license plate. Same thing in the rear. Exhaust detail here as part of the transformation that flips out. Painted brake lights, painted markers, painted license plate details in the bumpers, right? Like even the license plate light or side markers are there. Door handles. Smoke gray, like a dark smoke gray, translucent black windows all around. You can see some of the details of the transformation. You can see the legs in there, but you got to look pretty close to see that stuff inside. Not a lot of paneling going on, right? I mean, there is, but it pretty much disappears in the paintwork. There's actually the windshield washer spray nozzles are here. I actually thought this was a paint blemish. I was disappointed, and then I realized, oh no, that's actually part of the car. So that's nice. Some nice features on this too. So it actually has flip up headlights. If you press on the back of them, you can get them started, get your fingernail underneath and flip them up. And now you have, and not only are they flip up, like working headlights, if you will, but there's details in those headlights that look like, you know, headlights from the 80s. The little lines that go up and down in there. So even like an oval shape that would be the lens of the headlight is in there. I'm not sure that the camera or the light is catching it properly, but that's some really excellent detail. Side view mirrors, they're also painted. There's silver paint in here for the side view mirrors. Just like this just looks awesome. I love this so much. In addition to all the details you get, the doors can be open as well, and there's actually like a little thumb slot that's here just behind the door handle, so you can actually get your finger in there and open up these doors. And then if we take a look inside, we have some dash details that are going on in there. It's kind of hard to see with the lighting I have. Check it out from the other side, maybe. Not quite. We do have a steering wheel on the right-hand side, typical of a standard Japanese vehicle. They do drive on the other side of the road from the North American side. And then there's also, I'll actually pull the door out of the way just so you can see it. But there is also the rear seats. So we've got white rear seats with headrests, line details for the cushioning. Yep. So very, very nice feature as well to have the opening doors and then the interior details of the car as well. As I discussed before, there is also weapon storage. At least, well, weapon storage for the katanas, because these are the katana and the wakizashis. These are the the only weapons he comes with. So underneath, if we flip this over, so if you remember from before in his backpack, he had this part that flipped up. So this is where the sword blade will go underneath. And then we still have the pegs that were on the back, and that's for the short swords as well. The sword, like I showed before, does break apart, so you can flip this handle around, but this also breaks apart for the storage underneath. And it actually breaks into 3 parts, so you actually want to separate the blade from the middle part of the hilt from the handle. The handle will actually go into this peg that's in the back, in between the legs. So this actually goes in here with the hook for the handle facing down, because there's enough space there for it. So that will peg into there like that. Does stick off the back of the car, but could be a trailer hitch, right? Could be a trailer hitch. The middle part of the sword actually goes in here where the fingers are, and I didn't realize this. It doesn't show during the instructions, but it shows in the picture for the weapon storage in the instructions afterwards that you actually have to curve in the fingers so that they are out of the way. So if you haven't done it before as part of the transformation, because the instructions do say to, have the hand in this flat configuration, but in order to fit this into that space there, you do actually need to fold up the fingers. So you can just rotate the hand out on the wrist assembly there, and then just go ahead and fold all the fingers down into a fist configuration instead. And there is a bigger slot on one side than there is on the other. So this is actually the side that the sword came out of. So you want to make sure you're using that one to put on that tab that's in there, and it is a tight fit, but it does go on there. And then you can just rotate the hand in underneath the car, so you end up with it looking like that. Sword then will go black side down towards the back of the car, fits in here, and you can squeeze these 2 clips together just to get a good grip. And then the short swords actually can be stored in the same way that we did on the backpack, but now we have the advantage of there also being a large peg as well as the small peg that was on the back before. So as you'll see, there's a bigger hole here in the handle as well as the smaller hole there. So this actually pegs onto both for a more stable weapon storage configuration, just like that. So you have the 2 swords, the blade of the katana, the handle is back here, and the center assembly for the sword fits in there. Just got to get the hand out of the way. And that gives us plenty of clearance. There is no interference. This does roll very, very nicely on those wheels. Again, this is a very cool alt mode. Some final thoughts on this guy. Overall, this is an absolutely outstanding figure, and whether you're looking for G1 hyper cartoon accurate characters or some kind of stylized figure in your collection, this character, this figure, it's going to fit into your collection. You absolutely have to have this figure. Everything from the paint applications, the details in the head sculpt, the overall details of the figure itself, the accessories that come with it, although there may be a few more accessories than I particularly like, hashtag unnecessaries. In particular, that little cup that comes for the car, it's so small. I'm going to lose that thing. I know I'm going to lose that piece. But the swords that come with the figure and the weapon storage is so well thought out, both in the robot mode and the car alt mode as well. The articulation in the hands with the fingers and the overall articulation as well, the double butterfly that's going on in the shoulders that's part of the transformation, everything is just so well thought out on this figure. The only thing I might complain about is the transformation, but I'm finding that as I'm getting older, so this could just be me, I'm finding these transformations just feel like they're just way over engineered and just too complicated. And as the masterpiece line in all the third party companies seems to evolve, these transformations just seem to be getting more and more and more complicated. everything in the transformation works the way that it's supposed to and does fit the way that you think that it should. I just feel like there's just a lot of stuff going on in the transformation that maybe didn't need to get there. However, given the fact that they're trying to create a drift character that's a G1 styled character that actually transforms into an actual real world vehicle, the Toyota AE86, maybe that's the direction that they had to go, because that alt mode again is equally fantastic. It looks exactly like the Toyota AE86 from all the pictures and any of the movies that you saw or media that you saw on this car. The flip up headlights, again, the rims with the rubberized tires, the tread lines in the tires, the painting of the lights and the tail lights, and everything on that alt mode just looks fantastic. So you can be a Transformers fan, you can be a car fan, you can be both, an Initial D fan, the Initial D manga that the car is based upon. Everything about this is just so well thought out, and I'm really, really liking this Infinite Finite line from MMC that's kind of doing like a what if style thing. When we had IF-01, it was like, what if Galvatron was a fembot, and now we have what if Drift was a G1 character. So everything about this is so well thought out. I love this character, I love this figure. I didn't think I was actually going to keep this, and again, massive shout out to Ages 3 and Up for just sending me the figure so I could do this video, but this guy is definitely staying in my collection. And finally, I just want to give some more details again on that raffle that I'm having at the end of the month. So every month now, I'm going to be having a raffle in support of Kennedy's Village, which is a non-profit organization that helps bridge the gap between research and care in the fight against sickle cell disease. So if you want to help out a non-profit organization as well as get a chance to win some figures, please check the description down below. I've got lots of links in there on the rules and videos and Facebook posts as to how you can enter, what the rules are, how you're supporting the Kennedy's Village organization, and what figures that I currently have available for this month for you to win. So please go ahead and check the description down below and check that out. And thank you very much once again. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, I am the Rusty Mechanic, and we'll see you next time.